one of the interesting challenges that we've had to navigate as a team is how we can have a fun and engaging fitness session while still being in a tiny space for our kids. And for our team, yoga has been that answer. A lot of the boys have been hesitant about yoga being like actual and real fitness, but after that first session with them all dying of laughter and covered in sweat, I think it's been a really fun time for us. And now it's something that the boys can look forward to after a fitness session of either playing Kahoot or Jeopardy. We can then use the last 20 minutes to kind of calm down and get some yoga in, which they've all started to look really forward to.
One of our biggest issues with some of our participants since dealing with the pandemic has, on top of isolation, has been just not being in any sort of routine with being virtual for school. So one thing that we've done with the high school girls is really put a big focus on thinking about and understanding what boundaries are and talking about self-care. And the main project that we've been doing this season has been weekly planners. So a lot of the girls just felt very stressed and really disorganized and just a lot of negative feelings around virtual learning and not being prepared for it and not really having any support outside of SWB for it. So every Monday for our Zoom calls, we would take about 15 minutes just listening to some music, and they would draw out their week on a piece of paper and put in different deadlines and things like that to learn how to stay organized and just feel better about things that they have coming up with school. And it's been just really awesome and successful, and they've been doing such a good job with it.
I had a player who stopped attending soccer practice for about a month and a half because of the pandemic, schoolwork, and family obligation. And I realized that this wasn't going to change. So then I decided to pay him a visit to do like a one-on-one soccer clinic with him. After the session, I asked him, what are some other barriers that are stopping you from, playing soccer? And he said, I don't have enough equipment. And I said, well, in that case, let me leave these 2 soccer balls with you and some of these cones. And then he's like, okay, cool, thank you. And then I told him, hey, let's make a deal. The only way you can keep these is that you are playing at least once or twice a week. And he's like, bet, sounds good, coach. Then he reached out to me a week after. He said, hey, coach, I need a new ball. And I was like, why do you need a new soccer ball? He said, well, some of my new friends came in and then they kicked the ball against the fence and it popped. So then I realized at this moment, part of my job as a Soccer Without Borders coach to help some of my players to stay active is not necessarily be there and be the solution, but to help guide them to find the answers that themselves already have. And one of our mantra is to get them to the field. And I realized at this moment that if you can't get him to the field, why not bring the field to him?
Many of our participants have no outdoor space at their home. So the quarantine lockdown has meant just a ton of time inside for all of them, which has meant a very sedentary lifestyle while we're unable to see each other in practice. And because of that, we've really been trying to lean into the exercise element of practices to try to get guys moving. So we've been doing a ton of jumping jacks, a ton of push-ups, sit-ups, and even running in place just to make sure we're trying to get the elevated heart rate and get the blood moving. And it's been great to see, younger guys will log in looking maybe a little looking tired or looking lethargic, and then as we start moving and as we start doing exercises, you can see the blood start to flow back into their face, and they'll wake up a little bit. And saw this especially with one of our players, Asim. He was sitting on the couch at first, logging in, and as we started working out, then he started to do the jumping jacks with us. He started doing the push-ups with us, and after a while, he was wide-eyed again and really excited to lead the next exercise. And it's really cool to see that transition and just get folks up and moving, even though we can't be together.